This is happening again for the Cleveland Cavaliers, just like it did for LeBron and company. The Cavs are blowing through the regular season. They're a top tier contender, and they have all stars all over the place. Hey everybody, Billy BB back with you on Cavs Digest. Excited to talk about the 27-4 Cleveland Cavaliers as they defeat the Nuggets last night, 149 to 135. It was another awesome win. The Cavs dominated. They were up big at halftime. The stars were shining. They were once again defeating a contender with ease, and everybody was benefiting to the victory. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about what team we saw this from before in Cleveland, the differences, the similarities, and the, of course, end result, and we'll need to hear from you. As we do every single video, you got to subscribe, and we got to hear from you. That's the way this channel pops. It's the way this channel keeps going, and it's the best way that people who are watching can kind of conversate with each other, that when the videos get shared, people can see, okay, subscribers are there, conversations in there. That's what I look for in a channel. That's what we want on this channel, Cavs Digest. So I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. I'd appreciate it if this video specifically, because it's a little nostalgic, leave a comment. So the Cavaliers defeating the Nuggets last night, 149 to 135, like we talked about. Just another terrific win for the group. Donovan Mitchell had a big night for the Cavaliers. 33 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. You had Garland with 25, Mobley with 26, 5, and 6. And, Karis LeVert chipping in off the bench, other guys getting some playing time. You love when Ty Jerome scores just because it lets you know it was that kind of night. Cavs are kicking ass. They're kicking butt. I mean, that's really what's going on as they blow through the regular season. So when they won again last night, and they only won by 14, but it felt like they won by way more, kind of sunk in for me. Have I seen this before? Have I seen this from a Cavaliers team where they're just, blowing through the regular season at this point? It doesn't matter, contender, hot team with a star, team with a good coach, a bad team. They're taking care of business over and over and over again. And I just kind of wondered, have I seen this before? And of course, you flash back to the LeBron teams. But for me, I always know that first LeBron stint, they were better in the regular season. LeBron, as he grew up in the NBA, kind of realized it's not about the regular season, which I respect and always had an appreciation for. But I kind of realized that the Cavaliers, it would go back to that first stint, that they were dominating through the regular season. So I went back, I took a look. 2008, 2009, the Cavaliers were 66-16 in 2008. 2009. If you remember that squad, what a really, really fun squad. If you grew up watching Cavs basketball, I was born in 98, so it was perfect to kind of, I really never saw a bad Cavs team up until LeBron left the second time. Well, I guess in the middle. But, it's been a lot of good Cavs basketball because I've grown up in the LeBron era. So life in 2008, 2009, Cavaliers, like I said, 66-16. And if you go through the schedule that year, they did exactly what they are doing right now. They blew through everybody. They beat the Celtics multiple times. They beat, top-level teams, that were flashing, young players that were coming up like Durant and Curry. They blew through everybody. They were just dominating. If it was LeBron versus Dwayne Wade, they won. Even regular season, they housed the Magic. On the Western Conference side of things, he took care of Kobe Bryant, Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, all these other teams, every challenge, just like this year, as we've talked about them checking off boxes. And I know they still kind of have this thing going with the Celtics, but they had a thing going with the Celtics back then, too, as they had lost the year before to the Celtics. So that was kind of what that year was. So there's the standings at 66 wins. And again, just like this year, the Cavs are just a few games ahead of the Celtics this year, like they were back in 08, 09. And then looking back through it here, you have obviously MVP LeBron averaging 28. You had 2 All-Stars in LeBron and Mo Williams, who was averaging 17 points per game. And he was really a scorer, so he didn't have many assists. Verja was 13th for Defensive Player of the Year, so he had some defense there. I don't even think he was starting. So kind of a weird roster group. Obviously, LeBron just leading that group, right? And you hope for anything else you can get out of those guys. This was the year the Cavs made all those trades at the deadline to completely revamp their team, getting Wally Szczerbiak. I was showing that picture to you here. They get Wallace, Joe Smith, Zerbiak, and Delonte West at the break. All at the break. So if you remember, the Cavs did that in LeBron's last year in 2018. They completely did it at the break. And just like that year, they had a game where it was like 3 or 4 guys. So that's really interesting there to kind of break that down. And then, of course, the Cavaliers this year just flowing through. Great at home, great in the division, top of the East, just a few games ahead of the Celtics. And again, the Magic in the mix, the Heat in the mix. The Knicks were terrible back then, so not really in the mix, but you're looking through that group, and there's some similarities there. Now, if you look through the stats, Donovan Mitchell's your 20-point-per-game scorer, and then you've got another one in Darius Garland, who I think is better than Mo Williams was, both at scoring and assisting. Mo Williams was averaging 3 assists. You can see there with Garland, he's at 6.4, and obviously, as we know what he can do. I think by the end of the year, Mobley's going to get to 20 points per game. He's already at 18. You can see how much deeper this group is than that 08-09 group. How just better quality basketball there is within this group. And, I mean, look, the glaring thing is, right, if LeBron was out on that team, if LeBron was taking a day off, they were screwed. That's where they were at. Really cool picture. I want to make sure I show this if a Cavs fan's watching. Mike Brown, Coach of the Year, 08-09. There's the squad. You know, you see some familiar faces. Boobie Gibson, Sasha Pavlovich, Zydrunas Ilgauskas. In there as Mike Brown gets the 08-09 Coach of the Year. I think this team, Kenny Atkinson, could have the Coach of the Year award when it's all said and done by the end of the season. So 66 wins to, we still don't know what the Cavaliers will end up with. They are projected to go around that. I believe it's right now at 65 they're projected because, I mean, look, they're not going to lose a game a month. There's going to be a stretch. I don't know when because they don't play like it. So we'll see when that pops up for them. A lot of similarities and really fun to compare these two teams. Really fun to walk back down memory lane with the 08-09 Cavs. But the big question is the playoffs, right? That's where the Cavaliers faltered. They lost against the Orlando Magic in 2008-2009. LeBron got contained. They had a lot of trouble with Dwight Howard, and they lost. I think this team is deeper. I think this team has multiple different strengths than that team did. They have different players they can rely on, and they don't lean on one guy. They're going to have 3 All-Stars, and they're going to have at least two, if not 3, 20-point-per-game scores. And we've seen it again before from them. Evan Mobley has taken over playoff games. Darius Garland has taken over playoff games. Donovan Mitchell, we already know, can. So I think this team this year is better than that 08-09 team. I give them a better chance. I want to hear from you. How fun was that 08-09 team? That even the 09-10. I mean, I loved that first LeBron stint. Even though they didn't win anything, it was really, really fun. I look back on it fondly. I got the 07 Eastern Conference Finals trophy photo back there. That was a great year too. But I think this team is better. Do you think this team can get it done compared to that team? Would they win in a one-on-one? Let's take a walk down memory lane in the comments. Let us know, and be sure to subscribe to Cavs Digest.